Have you guys ever just been tired? Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch. I'm Joe. We got the Rovers behind us. This has been something a lot of you guys have asked about. I've made a small mention of it in some of our videos, but today's focus is going to be why we shut down a successful part of our business. So I got to give you a quick background of how we got to today. Ted and I have had this business for 15 years. It's a long time. I was young, zero responsibilities. Ted had a family, so a little bit more than me. But in the beginning, we were building neat things. At least I thought they were neat. And then chasing cars, selling cars. We were just having a ton of fun. Driving all over. We had CNC plasma going, doing trade shows, doing swap meets, building fun cars. It was just a blast. Like any business, it has been ever evolving, mainly focused towards growth. In the old revenue department, size, customer base, everything. And 7 years ago, that led us to a purchase of a property. We wanted to grow. We bought a building on the busiest surface street in town. That was a huge jump for Ted and I financially at the time. That's a big pill to swallow. This was not a cheap place to purchase. To this day, that's still a decision that was a great decision. But with that decision, we became more of a slave to chasing the almighty dollar. Originally, the business started out as a custom car shop, fab shop. We were selling some cars, but with the new building, we took on outside service work. Ted's been doing that for 20 years. We were comfortable doing that. We successfully grew the service business to a point where we required some employees. We had a great customer base, and we consider some of those customers as family to this day. So everything was going great until earlier this year. We got tired. Like everyone else, the current pandemic situation wore on us as well. Despite 2020 being a mess for everyone, it was one of the busiest years we ever had. It was a good year in business for us, especially on the service side. We had more customers, bigger jobs. We were just hitting on all cylinders. But with that came more headache, tighter scheduling, longer wait times, and eventually some customers were becoming unhappy. At the peak of it, we had a 6-week lead time, and understandably so. That's just too long in the service industry. And the phones, man, the phones just would not quit ringing. We were averaging 60 phone calls a day. That was the point in time where Ted and I sat down to take a look to see what we were doing. We had 2 full-time techs. We were scheduling 15 appointments a day. And realistically, we were only able to have 5 to 6 appointments a day. That's all we could do. So that was just pushing everything further and further out, digging us in a deeper hole. We were unhappy, running around with our heads cut off. We had more people, more parts, more paperwork, more. Everything you grow in business has complications on the back end that just exponentiate everything. It just becomes a mess. It started affecting Ted and I's personal lives. Myself, I was not the person I should have been at home. Jamie took the brunt of my stress. I put on the show at work, kept the happy face, dealt with everyone as you should deal with them as a business owner. But by the time I got home, I was burnt out and I wasn't the person I should have been. It got to the point where I struggled to even want to come into work. A business that I loved, a hobby, a passion, something that I dreamt about doing my entire life, and I couldn't get myself to want to even show up. There was mornings I'd show up and there'd be 3 or 4 customers waiting at the door before we were even open. Ted and I had to do something. We started looking at bigger facilities, but as we looked into that, something comparable in location and the size we needed, adding employees, adding more equipment, we were looking in the range of $2 million or more. We already weren't happy with the direction we were headed in business. So why would we risk $2 million additional dollars going on a path towards that direction? So we said, screw it. Shut the service department down. The last couple years, with everything going on in the world, has been eye-opening to both Ted and I. We both realized life is too short, too precious, to just exist miserably. We were trading our happiness for other people's happiness. And that decision to shut down the service department was solidified when we tried to take a week off. We wanted a week to reset and figure out what we were going to do with the business. This would be the first time the business has been closed since 2012. So 9 years of consistent opening of the business, and we just wanted a week off. But I was inundated that entire week with calls on my cell phone. We had to come in, help some people out, get their cars back on the road. We don't fault them, but that just made the decision clear on what we needed to do for ourselves. We had a failed attempt at a vacation for the first time in 9 years. And that was a rough realization that we were a slave to the business and we couldn't step away. And that's our fault. We didn't set it up correctly from the beginning, but it's still the situation we were in. And in the middle of this, I want to say this. This is no fault of any one customer, any one person. It's just the combination of everything, world situation, whatever. It just all came to a head. We are super thankful for the great customers we have had over the years, and we wouldn't be where we are without them, and we appreciate them more than they will ever know. But we were at a point where it was one of two decisions. We close the service department down, go back to just selling cars, rebuilding Rovers, and other neat vehicles, or we just close the business altogether. We were that stressed and that unhappy that we were just fine with ending the business. So in the automotive industry, people's cars breaking, needing repairs is not a good time for them. And I feel for everyone in that situation. And we felt terrible for some of our customers that were in a rough spot when their car broke. So therefore, we went above and beyond for our customers to make sure they were taken care of as quick as possible to get them out of that rough spot. But that led to just burning the wick at both ends, and it was just unsustainable. So today, November 8th, 2021, is the official closing of our service department, with the focus shifted to rebuilding our Land Rovers and other neat vehicles. That leads us to the ever popular question: how are you guys going to make money? Not by unpackaging parts. YouTube, of course. No, I'm just kidding. I do this stuff for fun. It wouldn't even cover the electrical bill. The real answer is Ted and I have just always somehow been able to make it work. We've always found a path to revenue, as they said. After years of doing what you're supposed to do in business, grow it, size, revenue, and doing that successfully, we're gonna take a step back and have some fun. And you guys get to come along for that journey. That means more trips to get cars, more rebuilds, more basket case projects, and maybe even a shop build along the way. I want to thank all of our customers and you guys watching for all the fun we've had over the last 15 years. Wouldn't be possible without both of you. So I want you guys to come along and see what is next for us. One thing I can guarantee is it's going to be fun. So there's always going to be tough spots in life, and this is currently one of them. This has been a very difficult decision for Ted and I, but the one thing I've noticed about tough spots is there's always a good one coming after it. And that good one's going to start with this Land Rover Defender build behind us, and I'm super excited to share all our Rover projects, a huge passion of Ted and I's with you guys. This has been a long time dream of ours, and the timing just worked out. We are set up perfectly for how we want to go forward in business. We're gonna have a lot of cool custom Land Rovers coming to you guys in the future. So if you're looking for one, the Lost Cause Ranch is the place to be, and we're gonna document them through and through. So with all that being said, make sure to subscribe to the Lost Cause Ranch. You get to follow along with all our exciting changes. And we are going to be back to the regular scheduled Land Rovers on the next video, including a running LS swap discovery. I appreciate you guys watching. Let us know in the comments down below if we're idiots for shutting down a successful business. We probably are, but we're gonna have fun.